Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. I did say I would be back on Southperry, and since MapleStory Global has a 16-hour maintenance today, it's the perfect time to showcase my latest run, which had me going from trying to be a pirate and finding the One Piece to finally getting a long-awaited build up and running. In case you don't know, Southperry is a roguelike old-school MapleStory game where every 2 level ups you get a new power-up, and every 10 level ups you have to find a boss to keep advancing. If you're looking to play this game yourself, it's currently available on MapleStory Worlds. I'm playing a mage today because of the extra drop rate and EXP, and I finally unlocked teleport. So before the run started, I crafted a knuckle to really hone in on becoming the best pirate with exploding fists. There are a ton of flash fist upgrades in the game, so I wanted to try going this route as it looked fun and I never really tried it before. I set the max level to 70, rolled a lot of additional drop rate and attack, and we were good to go. These days I don't even bother selecting new skills until I hit level 10. The first few levels aren't very eventful anyway, and you can go a lot of different routes depending on where you go, so I like to just, get everything in one go. I did find a pole arm with an errant skill, which is huge because that will definitely help us defeat bosses a lot easier than our measly punch. I usually start my first passive upgrades in the boss room, and immediately we got a buff for flash fist, increasing the attack speed, and once the skill hits level 3 we unlock Mach punch, which is supposed to be an even better upgrade, so this build is already starting out nicely. The next upgrades are goodbye HP, which means we don't heal when we level up. No thanks for that. My hands are definitely not good enough for that. Long shot magic, which is also useless since we want to, punch monsters in the face. So I went with the Codex power-up skill, which buffs the snail shell skill. Who knows what will happen in the future in case we do need to bust out that snail shell buster call. Our next upgrades had the fist aura, and who doesn't love some good aura farming? It increases the attack range of our flash fist skill, so we can turn this into a ranged attack once we level the skill a few times. Reaching level 3 here also unlocks another passive called Widespread Fist, which sounds great. The next one was rather difficult, but I went with critical shot because critical attacks are, OP. And I got bullet time, which is mad, but we gotta pick something. And those were the other 2 upgrades that I did. And then I beat up Nineheart with the Arn skill because they're just that OP. And off we go to Victoria Island. The fisting build was coming along nicely. I also got a hat with that drawing skill from Dual Blade, which was very useful. If I remember correctly, this skill used to cost NX cash if you want to master it, right? Nexon sold those mastery books for Dual Blade and Evan. For Evan their magic guard, I remember, that was horrible. And this skill was pretty useful as well for Dual Blade, so everyone kinda hated that you could get the skill for free up until level 5, I believe, and then you would have to get a mastery book to use the remaining skill points, which was disgusting. I had a few more upgrades stacked up as well and figured out, might as well just go for it, but the first 3 choices were again total rubbish for our current build, so I went with another Codex passive for more damage on the snail shells. This game really is pushing me towards the snail shell build here, as the other upgrade also had only bad choices and the multi-snail shell throw buff. This skill allows you to throw multiple shells at once and your shells can crit, which is pretty useful. I was like, you know what, screw it, we're going all in on the snail shells if we don't get anything for pirate, and I just hope that I find a weapon with that skill. So, I just accepted it. Continue to punch your way to success, and I found a weapon containing the old Thunderbreaker mobbing skill. And you'll remember those yellow lightning sharks? The damage was abysmal though, so we're not using that. I wasn't joking when I said I had no hands. The snowman boss actually defeated me, and all I had to do was jump. Like, this thing doesn't even move. I don't know what happened here. Maybe I was distracted or something. But anyway, I revive and keep going. Man, what is wrong with me? Things took a turn here though, as I did find a weapon with the snail shell skill, and it was time to switch things around, and instead of being a punchy pirate, we went for the snailminator build. The snail shell skill works a bit different, as it isn't affected by the damage of your weapon, but instead gets stronger the more monsters you collect, and of course it also depends on the level of the skill that your weapon has, which is up to level 3, and it depends on the level of the snail shell skill pass that was upgraded to level 2 already before, which means that for every monster we add to our collection, this skill deals 1.08 times more damage, which actually stacks up pretty nicely. So instead of just trying to level up as fast as possible, it was time to switch tactics and defeat and collect as many monsters as possible. Whenever you see that yellow lightning explosion, it means the monster has been collected. And at this point I had 19. If you also get lucky with your skills and follow the same build, you might want to make sure to get some backup gear, especially some single target damaging skills, because at this point there is no way you can defeat those bosses by throwing snail shells at them. I found a bow with the old school Wind Archer single target skill, which was actually very powerful. This one helped me out so much. I'm level 39 right now, and I've collected in total 24 monsters, and the damage is really starting to look like something. Each shell is already dealing 507 damage if it doesn't crit. Once I hit monster collection number 25, I could also try this new feature. In the monster book, you can now also unlock a random summon. If you get Meer, Evan's Dragon, you could also use some special skills as well. But I got the old Golden Eagle summon from Bowmaster, I believe. That actually reminds me, remember when the 4th job advancement was released and Ice Lightning Mages got a fire summon and then a spell that made the monsters weak to fire, and Fire Poison Mages got the ice summon and a spell that made monsters weak to ice? That was so weird. Good times. Hitting level 40, I finally got another Fist Aura farming passive. Maybe we can try out the Flash Fist build at one point anyway. This was like the first time in a long time that I actually got an upgrade for Flash Fist. As I mentioned, I'm currently playing a mage class, and once I reached a high enough level on this class itself, I could unlock the teleport skill. And this makes the boss runs so much easier. Mobility really is a huge issue in this game, as in that if you don't have any, it's going to be very difficult to evade attacks from those more nimble bosses. Also, the bow with the Wind Archer skill is again coming in so clutch here. My quest to catch them all also took me to the Golem Temple, where I collected even more monsters. I should really check out Forest of Golem, or Fog for short, and Sleepywood, but then those golems do hit like a truck. Thankfully, no golems spawn in the entrance of this map like in the real classic MapleStory. Falling in the golem pit would spell instant doom for most noobs. I also already hit level 50, those levels really are flying by. I went back to Hanøy's Hunting Ground 1 next to collect a few more low level mobs that I didn't have the chance to collect yet. These snail shells are already dishing out 1277 damage per hit. Looking pretty solid already. And then at level 54, it finally happened. I went over to the excavation site in Perion so that I could collect the monsters over there. And that's where I finally got the Mach Punch upgrade. But even better, I also finally got the level 3 skill of the Codex power, which increased the damage of the snail shells up to 1.12 times. Which doesn't sound like a lot, you know, it's just 0.04 times more, but this is a multiplier. And before this upgrade, I was at 44 monsters collected, I was dealing 2.3k damage per hit. And now thanks to this insane multiplier, I was suddenly dishing out 11k damage per snail shell, making those snail shells the old school MapleStory equivalent of a small nuclear bomb. Now collecting another monster increased the damage of the skill by about 2k per monster collected. Being able to one-shot those monsters is pretty crazy in old school MapleStory, and I just can't stop collecting with all these additional monsters spawning. I instantly collected a few more, and now we're dealing 16k damage, another monster collected, 18k damage. Hitting 50 collected monsters, I am now doing 23k damage per attack. This is seriously the best build in the game. It feels like I'm wearing that gem hat again from the previous video. However, also, let this be a life lesson. Never get too greedy or too overconfident. I was one-shotting monsters left and right, I was feeling invincible. But I'm still playing a weak 1 armor mage with no magic guard, so once I saw all those monsters on this platform, including a few that I haven't collected yet, I didn't hesitate to teleport up there. However, those Tower of Mazes that are usually found in the ant tunnel, they deal freaking 1k damage, and I was stupid enough to use Heaven's Hammer, which has like the longest attack animation ever. So there goes the greatest run I ever had, because I got too greedy. Those snail shells really are something though. I wonder what happens if you like have the max level at level 100 and then go outside of Victoria Island to collect even more monsters. I was technically only halfway, as the max monsters you can collect goes up to 100, so perhaps someone who collects even more monsters could be dealing like 50k damage per snail shell. Anyway, the MapleStory maintenance, that's still gonna last for a while. So I hope this was some fun entertainment for you while you wait. Many thanks for watching. Again, if you want to check out Southperry, it's available in MapleStory Worlds, and as always, special thanks to our members for making these videos possible. Special thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian Hanøy, Caudimorda, Lee, BackSpaceOTI, Ziggy, Flidiot, Knivesu, Cloudfix, Michael Menchaca, Raythius, Betrayal1489, Sylvio, Neto, StrikerElk, Ryaiser, Aryu, MaxBurnHeart, The Passenger, ScottyFlysFast, Only, Spudsy, snafuPop, Dewey, Tran, Kaniwoo, Kirch-Nehammer, Dexzu, Dante Victory, The Wolf Drake, Lord Fazil, Mathenu Dev, Tails Kurspet, DVNCA, and Schwandro. Thank you so much for watching.